Swimming pools are wonderful things in your backyard, but as we all know, they are not very safe places for animals and small children. So I don't have any small children around, but I do have one very small animal that has never gone swimming, and that would be Butchie. And I've never put him in the pool. He's never tried to go in the pool, but dogs can run around and they can fall, they can slip, lose their footing and fall into a pool if they're running around it. So in today's video, I'm gonna test out his swimming abilities, and more importantly, because most dogs can swim, I'm not really worried about that. What I'm concerned with is, can he figure out how to get out of the pool? I'm pretty sure he can swim, but let's see if he can get out of the pool, because if he can't get out of the pool, this pool could be a death trap for a small dog like him. But he's never gone swimming before. Let's see if he can swim. Can you swim, buddy? Don't be afraid. I'm right here. It's okay. What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Let's see if you can swim, buddy. Yep. Okay, come over here. Over here. There you go. Can you get out though? See, I don't think you can get out on your own, buddy. Over here. You're the top step. There you go. There you go. It's good to know if your dog can get out of the pool. And that is why I put Butchie in the pool. I wanted to see if he would be able to get out of the pool. Swimming is not the problem. Most dogs can swim, but little ones especially can't always get out. And even bigger ones, you have to teach them where the steps are, and you've got to teach them how to get out. And so Butchie should never be alone by the pool, because if he falls in, he can swim for a while, but if he gets tired and he can't swim anymore, he's going to drown. So you always need to know what you're dealing with your dogs, and you need to be extra careful around swimming pools. I almost forgot. It's not just the little dogs that have trouble getting out of the pool. Sometimes older dogs don't have the strength to pull themselves out of the pool. And also sometimes dogs with big bodies and shorter legs have trouble getting out of the pool. I once took care of a pit bull, and she was not able to pull herself out of the pool on her own, even when we showed her where the steps were. So we always had to be careful with her around the pool, because she could swim. She was kind of like a tank with little legs, but she couldn't pull herself out of the pool on her own. So we had to be really careful with her. And she didn't really like swimming either, so no surprise there. What can you do if you know that your dog can't get out of the pool by himself? First thing is, don't leave him outside by himself, unattended, because it only takes a minute for them to fall into the pool. And Butchie isn't going to seek out the pool, but if he runs around and he accidentally falls in, like maybe one of the other dogs is chasing him, or they're playing and they decide to run around the pool, which often happens. A lot of times they like to run around the pool. The bigger dogs that like to swim will jump in, and if Butchie jumped in or fell in and I wasn't out there with him to scoop him up, he would swim for a little bit, but he could drown pretty quickly. All it takes is just him getting tired out, and that can happen. So the number one thing is, if you have a pool and a little dog that can't get out on their own, limit their access to the pool if possible. If you can't limit the access to the pool, then limit the access to the yard, and only allow him in the yard when you're out there to keep an eye on him. That is the number one thing you can do for pool safety. And that goes for kids too. Pretty much the same thing. Don't let them out there by themselves, even when they're good swimmers, because if they hit their head or they slip and fall, a great swimmer can still get hurt. And so, it's that time of year where pool safety is important. I hope this helps someone. I'll see you next time.